Yeah. 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 He sure was, and they won the championship the first season. Coached by Jim Stanley. Yeah. Five things you should know from 103.9 The Fox, brought to you by Fick Landscape Supplies. As we spring into the new season, it's time to get that driveway in shape with tons of driveway material, plus the finest topsoil, compost, and humus. Fick Landscape Supplies, 2 locations to serve you. Find out more at ficklandscapesupplies.com. Like us on Facebook. Now, let's get Fick and busy. Major bridge collapse causing chaos in Baltimore this morning. Rescue crews have now reported they pulled 2 people from the water and continue to search for several others after multiple vehicles fell into the river following the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge when it was struck by a cargo ship at around 1:30 this morning. That bridge is an essential link of I-695. 2 people in custody after a car chase following a shooting in Flint yesterday morning. Multiple reports are saying that vehicle being pursued had been spotted at the Kroger store in the Flushing area where the shooting had reportedly happened. A chase leading through Mount Morris Township before ending thanks to a problem with a vehicle on southbound 475 near Carpenter Road. If you applied for food assistance or state emergency relief in Michigan, State Health Department just launched a new tracker that's designed to let you follow the progress of that application. Officials say you should now be able to find it on the My Bridges website. They say it'll allow you to save time learning its status rather than having to either call the local office or wait for the determination letter to arrive in the mail. Pistons continue to struggle. They've done it all season, and now they're going through what is a 7-game losing streak. Latest one to the Knicks last night, 124-99. Red Wings in action in Washington against the Capitals tonight. Tigers take on the Tampa Bay Rays in Florida today. We're getting down to the home stretch of the Grapefruit League schedule. And to cap this one off, while some folks are dreaming about a big lottery win in either Mega Millions or Powerball, you might already have some money that should be coming to you. IRS officials announced yesterday about 940,000 folks have unclaimed tax refunds for the tax year 2K20 that total roughly $1 billion nationwide. And they say that if you think you might be among them, you have until May 17th to submit a tax return in order to claim that refund for the tax year 2K20. And that's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox. Showers and significant winds for us today. We're expecting showers that are in the region this morning, likely to return tonight. Those winds are to kick up out of the south-southeast at 20 to 22, gusting up to 37 miles an hour. Our temperatures expected to top out around 58. Cloudy overnight with some overnight showers and isolated at times, 34 for an overnight low, and then the skies remain generally overcast tomorrow. Temps stay cooler, only around 44. Sunshine comes back Thursday along with a temp of around 46. Right now it's 51 in Flint, and in Saginaw, 53.
Medical Center Studio. This is the Foxhole Morning Show.
Flint's Classic Rock Authority.
103.9. The Fox. Well, at least it took University of Michigan just over a week to find Juwan Howard's replacement. Florida Atlantic's Dusty May, the next coach for the Wolverines. His Owls, though, lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament to Northwestern on Friday.
Good morning, TikTok. Here we go. You're from the Navajo Nation. Hey, I've seen you before. Hey, Dale. Good to see you. Again. We didn't chase you off the first time. That's good news. Tina's here, always here from New Jersey. Ronald Dorsey, good morning to Ronald. Also to Lola, to Pineapple 467, to Ethan, to Joy, to Tony, Hector, Tissue or Scott Tissue. Good morning to you guys. Dolores, Bobby is here. Lavon and Seon are here. All of you to get this Tuesday morning underway, or for some of you, it might actually be in the afternoon or evening. We don't know where you're looking at us from. Sheila's here. Sunshine Sheila is here from Bay City, Michigan. There are a bunch of bridges there, but a bridge this morning is the major story, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. Not any of the ones in Bay City, thankfully. Northeast Ohio is where we find Explorer 813. Good morning, Northeast Ohio. Good to see you. Here comes Semi-Pool. Good morning to you. Thank you very much for following us, and Shirley, good to see you as well. This is the 26th of March. We're here on TikTok every Tuesday from what we call the Foxhole Morning Show with Johnny Burke and Steph Barber. We'll listen to them in a few minutes. My name is Hal. I do the news and the traffic, and for about an hour or so during the show, I chat with you guys on Tuesdays on TikTok, and our live stream goes to other different sites every other day during the week. Facebook on Mondays. After our TikTok Stop Tuesdays will be tomorrow on Twitter, X, Instagram on Thursday, and then on Friday we're going to multi-stream on Twitch and on Facebook. It's Brother Hal's traveling live streaming show. Good morning, Willie T. 5:04 a.m. where you are, so you're only 2 hours behind us, Dale. That's 5:04 a.m. and would here be the Mountain Time Zone, or even I think the Pacific Time Zone for some. WKRP. There are some aspects of WKRP which are almost like real radio. Not many, but maybe a couple. The sales guy, pretty much, that you knew. Yeah, the sales guy was kind of the same kind of thing you see in radio, but other than that, a lot of it's different. But anyway, this is a live morning radio show from Flint, Michigan. It's 103.9 The Fox, classic rock radio. You've got a mobile app you can download if you'd like to listen to it any other time of the day besides now. Heather's here. Good morning, Heather. That would be Northern Virginia. Always glad to see Heather here. As I mentioned, we have an issue going on with this major bridge collapse in Baltimore, Maryland, here in the United States. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you a different vision of an angle of that collapse. You've probably, if you've been up a while, have already seen this video of this cargo ship which crashed into the bridge and knocked it down. This is going to create problems for years. This is going to be a major ripple effect situation. What happened in Baltimore this morning. Now, we fortunately have a little bit of good news in the fact that there has been the recovery of at least 2 people who fell in the water. This thing knocked vehicles, or like at least 7 vehicles that fell into the water with this. And I'm going to show you a different angle and show you how a bridge, a major ship with all the thousands that go under bridges every day, this particular one knocked a bridge down. I'll show you how that happened in a few minutes. Hang in.
They believe they damn well better get an award for doing so, too.
Of course, yes.
Millennials, my goodness, can't get no satisfaction.
Morning, Gonzo. Thank you for following us.
Hey, Day of Giving.
The way it instantly dropped. I'll show you how that was allowed to happen. That was this was a total accident on the part of the ship, and it had nothing to do with its steering because it didn't have any.
We've been working with them since they opened up their 3 locations in this area, and they think at Jersey Mike's that you should give for one reason only: to give. It's in their culture at Jersey Mike's. And this whole
Leslie is with 3WZFM in Central Virginia. Well, welcome to one of our brethren here.
It culminates with tomorrow's Day of Giving. On the last Wednesday of March, they do this every year. 100% of their sales are going to be donated to the charity.
Mel, Australia has now... Good evening, Mel. This is Australia who is now joining us.
Hogging all the food.
This is, by the way, this is Johnny and Steph.
I believe it's the one here at Linden and Miller Road where he will be broadcasting live from with the Fox on the Run tomorrow during Steve Driver's show here on 103.9 The Fox. Stop over and say hi to him. Get yourself a sandwich. The money goes to charity, and you get a good sandwich. Jersey Mike's, always fresh at Jersey Mike's. I love their subs.
I do too.
All righty, it is 7:08 right now, and it's currently sitting at 51 degrees. We're heading up to 58 today. Rain till about 9 o'clock this morning, then it'll just be a breezy. By the way, very breezy at times, up to like 40 mile an hour gusting. So
yeah.
You'll probably gonna
Don't
stay
spend
inside.
a lot of time on the hair today.
Yeah, you wouldn't. It probably wouldn't pay off for you. 7:09. The Foxhole Morning Show. Johnny Burke and Steph still to come. All right, Steph's Fox Flashback is about a half an hour away. It's going to be a lot of fun and chance for you to win coming up here on the Fox. And you never know. You never know. It could be happening at any time. The big backyard bundle qualification also coming up within the next hour here on 103.9 The Fox.
All right, and it's all brought to you by Way to Be Medical Weight Loss. Shed those unwanted pounds effectively, safely, and affordably with FDA-approved weight loss injections from Way to Be Medical Weight Loss in Grand Blanc. Call 810-866-4567 or visit waytobe.com.
Exciting.
Jaron, you build bridges? Jaron is another repeat viewer of ours. Glad to see you. And you say that it's going to take at least 2 years to rebuild something like that from somebody who evidently does this. Traffic in the threes. So do warts. We tend to move our traffic over to, it's not necessarily on the threes. We're a little looser with our time. We're not like a news station where it's going to be at exactly 3 after, 8 after, whatever that station goes with. We're kind of in the approximation world here. In fact, with Johnny, there's no such thing as real exact timing for anything. But we're going to get there. We're going to, as soon as the commercials are over, we're going to do the traffic. And then I'm going to show you this video from a different angle than you may have seen it up to now of this bridge collapse and how this ship ran into it. Morning, Jason. Copper Boy is what he goes by here, but he is our world traveler. He was in, what, Miami, I think you were yesterday. Where are you today?
Together, let's drive.
51 degrees and going to be about 58, but hold on to your babushka today because it's going to be real windy. We're told. You're still in Miami, okay. Also going to give you a smile source. We need that on a day like this where you've got this kind of a problem going on in Baltimore with this bridge collapse. We will try to give you a smile source to start the day. Now, first the traffic. One problem is apparently a messy one, though, involving injury in Grand Blanc Township. So steer clear of Saginaw Road at Edwards Street. We have a crash reported there just a couple of minutes ago. Saginaw Road at Edwards Street. It is the only issue going on. 75, 475, 69, 23 moving along well. Same thing can be said for 675 US 10. But if you spot traffic trouble, give us a call at 810-230-WRSR. That is 810-230-9777 to get your vehicle city traffic information all the time, anytime from classicfox.com/traffic. Be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox.
And good morning, all you happy people. You know you are the happiest people.
We are?
You are?
Right now?
Hal is too. Yeah, believe it or not, even Hal is, yeah. And me. A Gallup poll found that people over 60 are among the happiest people in the world.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Also, people over 60 are smoking a lot more pot. Coincidence? I think not. Hal, get on it.
Traffic and service of Big Landscape Supplies. As we spring into the new season, it's time to get that driveway in shape with tons of driveway material, plus the finest topsoil, compost, and humus. Big Landscape Supplies has 2 locations to serve you. Find out more at biglandscapesupplies.com. Like them on Facebook, and now let's get big and busy.
51 headed to 58. Rain should end later in the morning at 9 or 10 o'clock. Scattered showers overnight tonight. Breezy at 35. Tomorrow, 44.
Okay. Jaron says it depends if the bases are still good. There's a lot of unknowns, the Army Corps of Engineers will say, regarding the rebuilding of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, which collapsed overnight while some of you were sleeping. Mel was in the middle of the day because Australia's the other side of the world and the other side of the clock. So they're getting ready to wrap up their Tuesday here. But most of us, including John, who is, of course, Fitzy, in stormy Saginaw. Happy Tuesday. So it's storming out there because right now outside my window it's raining, but it's light. It's not what I would call a storm at all. Let's give you, first of all, before we show you, I'm going to show you the video of the bridge collapse from a different angle so you can see how this was allowed to happen. Because, again, thousands of ships go under bridges every day. So how did this happen? I'll show you. First, let's show you a Havanese. The Havanese is, in this case, named, if I can find this little guy's name here. This is going to be the second time. Is this going to be the second time that they did not give me the name of the dog? For my 365 dogs calendar, it is. It happened to me once several weeks ago. We had one dog which gave me no information whatsoever on it having to do with its breed, its name, its location. Usually we get all of those. But in this particular case, we're just talking about a Havanese in general and showing you a picture of it. And I don't know where this dog hangs out amid the meadow. I don't know what its name is. I don't know how old it is. I can't tell you anything about it other than the fact that it's a Havanese. That's it. So that's it. There's your dog for today. Mel saw the bridge collapse. I'm going to show you a different angle on it in a minute. Okay? But anyway, name this dog if you'd like. What do you think this dog ought to be named? This is a Havanese. From the 365 Dogs calendar. We show you every day we show you something like that to get your day off to a smiling start. Okay, what I'm going to show you is what happened that allowed this big mammoth cargo ship to take out an entire massive 1,200-foot long bridge. Because normally, ships go under bridges every single day without a single problem. How did this one happen? The picture that had no info said, oh, Mel. Yes. Okay, here's what I'm going to show you. This is the start of 2 power outages on this bridge, on this boat, this ship. We're going to look over here. This is a power loss. There were 2 of them. I'm going to tell you what, see if I can maybe re-rack this thing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-rack it. Okay, now, let's show you again. Here it comes. Here comes the bridge, the cargo ship from this side. And we have a first of 2 power losses. Boom, it goes out. And that renders the steering totally powerless. They can't control the ship until they get the power back. All right, the power has come back. Now they're getting a little bit close to this bridge support, but there's smoke billowing from the ship, so we show that there was a problem. Here comes power loss number 2. All the lights go out. The steering again goes out. This thing drifts toward that bridge support. And by the time they get the power back once again, it's too late. And they crash into that bridge support, and down comes the bridge. There you are. That's how it happened. We'll take a look at it one more time. We got, again, power number 1. The power goes out. They scramble on board the ship to get it back. They get it back. But for a moment, they'd lost their steering. Smoke has now started to billow from it. The power goes out yet again. The ship drifts toward that bridge support. They've managed to wrestle the power back, but by this time it's too late. They can't reclaim the steering and get it past that bridge support. It hits the support, and down goes the bridge. And there you go. Whoop, let's see if I can scramble to get my power back here, to get my camera back. There we go. Okay. Now, it did go down fast, Ryan. You bet it did. Back to Johnny and Steph. And your birthday is Saturday, April the 6th, Dale. Well, look forward to that.
From the beginning, from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, for like 3 or 4 weeks now.
Because we played it on
Yes.
Steph's Fox Flashback.
Yes.
I think that might have something to do with it, too, because we're resurrecting songs on your...
So if I asked you to think about the lyrics...
And again, I will
to
tell
After
you
Your
that the
Delight,
fire
what would it
chief
take
on
to
the
get
scene
them out
says
of
2
your
people
head?
have been recovered already.
Because
They've been rescued. Now they're trying to find a few more.
Flight all damn day
Yep,
now.
and my mission was accomplished.
Thank you.
You're
Listen to
welcome.
103.9 The Fox, anywhere in the
Okay? If you didn't hear that, the fire personnel on hand, the fire chief said that at least 2 people have already been rescued. They're still trying to get more out of the water because there were at least 7 vehicles, including a couple of semis you couldn't probably see from one side of the bridge that had fallen in at the time. So from that view, it's going to be interesting to get it back up. The pillar is going to have to be dug up, says Jaron, who evidently works on bridges and building them. So this is interesting to have someone knowledgeable about this kind of a situation with us. That's great. Appreciate the insight. I think maybe a little later on this morning, if you remind me to do it, we'll show you that video again for those who join us a little later, because people are coming in and out all morning long with us. Tommy Henley, good morning. Not totally sure that was accident. Well, if you saw just now the video that I showed you, you'll see what was going on. One video that's been shown to this point, and this is the one that I'd seen about 100 times before the second angle came in. I'm still trying to figure out who did it. I'd like to be able to credit that. that second angle, because it was much more telling than that first one was, which was directly behind the ship, showing it crashing into that bridge support. But you wonder, did they go into it on purpose? Until you realize there were 2 power outages that happened on board that thing before it got to the bridge support. So the steering for moments was inoperable. I don't know how old that bridge is, Jaron. I can't answer that. But it is a major travel source. It goes to, as a major link to I-695 in Baltimore. So the travel nightmares just started. This is going to go on for months, if not years. Thank you, Serendipity. This just happened to fall into our lap. I happened to see that video just this morning and thought, what a perfect time to be able to show it to you guys because of that second angle. The first one that everybody was seeing at first and that I was seeing over and over and over again did not show the power losses on board that ship beforehand and creating the issue that happened. Because, as I say, how many times, if you grow up or at least spend any time around bridges and you see all of these I did for many years, and for 10 years I was working at a radio station near Lake Huron. So if you're sitting here looking at the map of Michigan, my highly priced map of Michigan here, Lake Huron is in this area, and I was working in a town called Port Huron where they have a bridge between the United States and Canada, and it's called the Blue Water Bridge. And you had freighters every day. People came out just to kind of watch those, including at one point the Edmund Fitzgerald back in the 1970s before the big sinking of that up in Lake Superior, which created the Gordon Lightfoot song. Freighters by the dozens would come up under that thing every single day, and people would watch them. It was kind of cool. And other boats as well. But you wonder, they do it safely. How the hell did this happen? Well, we found out through that second angle. The Francis Scott Key Bridge, says Fitzy, was started in 1972, completed in 77. So it's, you're looking at 45 years, basically, right? Doing a little fast math there. Woke up to the news about it on Twitter, says Serendipity. Yeah, it's this happened about 1:30 this morning, Eastern Time. So that's going to be something we'll be talking about for days and weeks to come. Thanks to all of you who have jumped here by accident, and I know most of you did because that's the new way of TikTok, to send people who are scrolling mindlessly through their feed to a lot of live stream feeds so that you can see what's out there, because a lot of people tend to, box themselves into their own areas of interest, and those are the videos that you most often see thanks to their algorithms. You show an interest in one type of a person or a type of a topic or a type of a video presentation, you're going to see nothing but that, unless you are taken periodically to live streams that are being done by people like me, so that you can see that there's other stuff out there and maybe you can get interested in that. So glad to see that some of you were here. And of course, Sheila mentions we see it daily here. Sheila is in Bay City, Michigan, where they have 4 bridges. Short ones, yes. It's not a 1,200-foot span like this one was, but short bridges. And so therefore, they have to have dealing with ships going under bridges all the time. 3 of them you can pass through for free. 1 of them you can't. You have to pay to go across it. She won't do that. Mel searched for me. Well, we're glad that your sleuthing paid off. The Edmund Fitzgerald was a tragedy that no one will forget, and it's because of the Gordon Lightfoot song that's true. The big sinking of the 29 men in Lake Superior in 75. And Tina has been making the same mistakes for years, she says. Jaron asked about the age of the bridge to find out the concrete pillars, how easy it would be to replace those, because that was what got hit, was that one concrete pillar. All right. One thing that I have done just for the last 2 days has to do with trying to figure out my capability for snoring and or getting sleep apnea while sleeping. So I downloaded an app a couple days ago. It's called Shut Eye, and it seems to be working so far. It's being able to show me, interestingly, the kind of things that happen that you can have kind of played back to you in your sleep. It records stuff, kind of like what these sleep experts will do. And so far, the first 2 nights have been very successful. No snoring, no sleep apnea indication so far, because it's always been the thought that maybe it's been the case. So I don't know if you guys ever, some of you have trouble sleeping. Sleep apnea, says Mel Mel. Maybe look into this. The app is called Shut Eye. Shut Eye. Check for that on your app store and see if maybe, give that a try. They give you a 7-day free trial, and if you want it, it's like $6, well, at least in American money, it's $6, and I think it's $5 a month. It's $60 for a year, American funds. Thinking about it, they could just replace that one, which would speed up the process. Whatever, I'm going to tell you what, they're going to find, although you don't want to certainly sacrifice quality for speed, but at the same time, they want to also be efficient about it and be able to get traffic moving through Baltimore again, because that is such a major connection to the travel scene there. You stopped since you lost weight. Used to have sleep apnea, we're talking about, Tina? Losing weight helped that? Well, that's good to know. Comes down to the Corps of Engineers. Tina's dad used to do electrical on bridges. That's interesting, too. So it's a heavily trafficked bridge, says Healer's got. Well, it's certainly, yes, it was lots of use. Lots and lots of use. It's, as I understand it, and I tell you, I've not been to Baltimore to visit or actually go over that bridge, but it serves as the outermost crossing of the Baltimore Harbor. And it's an essential link to I-695. So yeah, it's going to be a problem. You got a little Journey playing in the background, don't we? Yeah. Morning, Chris. New Mexico is now here. Thank you, Kick and B. Thank you for following us. Here comes Johnny and Steph on TikTok Tuesday.
Flashback just around the corner. I think you're going to love it. Might even be a turn it up loud moment.
I think it will.
All right. Also, by the way, Steph has put up the trailer for Rivalry, that Bay City documentary that's coming out on April 13th at the Bay City Cinemas about Bay City Central, Bay City Western's big football rivalry. It's really cool. We saw the trailer for it and thought it'd be kind of neat to put that up for everybody on Facebook. So it's on our 103.9 The Fox Facebook page. You want to check that out. It's about 2 minutes long. No profanity, so it's safe for work.
Yes.
For a change. Pink Floyd now.
All right, Rob Z says he is 4 miles from the Key Bridge. This is the one that came down. You're 4 miles from it. Do you get a lot of traffic by where you are? Or are you on just a side area where you don't have it passing by you right away? McGregor says the only route for trucks that are too tall for the tunnels without circling around the north, says McGregor. The bridge that we're talking about here, the only route for trucks that are too tall for the tunnels without circling around the north. How many tunnel options are there? How many tunnel options are there, McGregor? Do you know? Good morning, Bella Beans Cafe. Good to see you here with us. Crazy right now. Okay. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Don't doubt that at all. Wonder how often they inspect the heavy traffic bridges. It is going to it's going to certainly call attention to infrastructure again, you can bet. Absolutely. Like the glasses. Well, it helps me to see. Thank you. When am I going to do the weather, says Dave. You want me to do the weather? Because I do during the newscast. I'll be doing one at about 8 o'clock. It's 7:28 a.m. Eastern time right now. I can give you a forecast right now. One is 13 feet 6 inches. The other is 14 feet 6 inches, says McGregor. The tunnels that you're talking about, 13.6 and 14.6. Because, I mean, I can tell you, our forecast as it presents to us, it is just going to be a windy day. It's not a good day for if you have a lot. You better put a ton of product in your hair or use real heavy hairspray if that's what you need to get through the day looking presentable, because the wind is going to just tear it up today. It is. We got rain going on right now. That was in the forecast just this morning, and then it'll come back again tonight. But generally speaking, just windy and about 58 or so degrees Fahrenheit. Might hit 60 in some areas, but again, that wind is going to knock down that comfort level that 60 degrees might offer. Too short for trucks. The tunnels, I got you. 13.6 and 14.6 would be too tall. Cloudy tonight, more showers, and then the overcast skies again tomorrow. Cooler, 44 degrees Fahrenheit, 46 on Thursday. Although Thursday going to be much more sunshine. So there you have that. We have another big multi-state lottery drawing tonight. Wind where? Michigan, Jay Parker. A lot of wind in Michigan. Steady at around 20 to 22 miles an hour, gusting up to around 35, 37 at times today. And there are some reports that some areas, maybe not necessarily here, but elsewhere in Michigan, might get 60 mile an hour winds. We're in Flint, Michigan, Healer Garden. Flint, Michigan, USA, the home of the formerly crappy water. You've probably heard about the Flint water crisis of 9 years ago. We're on the map for that, in addition to being, heavily violenced area over the course of years. Used to be the home to General Motors. Like everything in this city was always about General Motors until the early 80s, when it moved its headquarters out and took most of the plants with it, except a couple big ones. Another aspect is getting the labor to rebuild it, going to be hard. I just popped up and you're scrolling. That's how it happens with a lot of people, Healer's Garden. Right now, the TikTok way is to show a lot of people what is out there in terms of live streaming, and if you hang with it for more than 5 seconds, you might actually enjoy it, because we do this every Tuesday here. I'm on a bunch of other places over the course of the week. We're on Facebook on Mondays, TikTok on Tuesdays, Twitter X on Wednesdays, Instagram at @HalMoss_news, and Moss is MAAS_news. You follow me and you'll get notified when we go live at 7 a.m. Eastern. And then on Fridays we go to Twitch and Facebook. It is a multi-stream on Fridays. So there you have that. And for many people, this is the first time being exposed to this kind of thing. So we want to make sure that you watch us for more than 5 seconds and kind of drink in what we have. Because we've got a lot of people who visit us and watch us and hang with us on a regular basis. They're called the Hal Raisers. My name is Hal, and the people who have been with us for so long are called the Hal Raisers. They are proud of that title. And they all know each other intimately over the course of these years, because we've been doing this for 9 years, this live stream. And now we've started to move around the live streaming map. It's Brother Hal's traveling live streaming show, every day someplace different, so that it gives a lot of people a chance to figure out that we're here who didn't know it before. What's this? It's a live morning radio show, Noel Demand. We are a live morning radio show from Flint, Michigan, USA, classic rock music. I'm in my home studio doing news and traffic. Now to the main studio with Johnny and Steph. They're on the air with classic rock music and contests and other stuff, like now.
Pink Floyd there, 7:33 here in the Foxhole. Johnny and Steph in the house. Your big backyard bundle registration could be coming up at any moment. You never know when. It's the Fox and Timothy's Tractors combining for one of the biggest prize packages we've ever had. You can score an 8-piece patio set, but that's not all. An EFCO trimmer, but that's not all. An EFCO leaf blower, that's not all. A char grill smoker, that's not all. And a Cub Cadet riding mower with rear bagger, all of that going to one winner. You get 3 chances every workday, Monday through Friday, to get qualified. Just listen.
Oh, you're in Hastings. I know where you are.
The next, half hour, 35 minutes on the Foxhole Morning Show.
And you called me
Once upon a time, worked in Muskegon.
It was brilliant a minute ago.
Yeah.
You called me a tease a minute ago, and look at you
I'm
over
teasing,
there.
yeah, I'm teasing. Yeah, I am doing all the teasing. All right, here's another thing. I just saw this. Intriguing findings. This is from a Johns Hopkins study.
Thanks for following us, Mark.
Trendy, an accessory like a sleep number bed might be because of cognitive decline in older adults. The sleep number beds
Healer's Garden, appreciate you following us. Thank you.
get that good night's
Papa and Sizzle are both here, along with Tony Del Camp.
We talk about professional hearing clinic all the time.
Sharon Clark here. Good morning to all of you for joining us. Is that the only way to get into the harbor? I'm not sure. I don't know intimately what the routes that you can take around Baltimore are. All I know is that is going to be a key loss to the city and its commerce. Okay, he's talking about his sleep number bed, so we can let him do that. And I continue to say we've got these two mega, and I mean gargantuan jackpots going on in these multi-state games. Tonight it's Mega Millions. If you've not bought a ticket yet, might think about one, because the jackpot tonight is $1.1 billion for the drawing, which is at about 11 o'clock Eastern time tonight. You can take a $525 million cash option if you choose when you win. Right? Now the Powerball, which was last night, did not have another winner, so that is up at $865 million right now.
Next here on the Fox.
And this hour is a service of Way to Be Medical Weight Loss. Did you know that weight loss injections help suppresses one's appetite and controls hunger and cravings? Call Way to Be Medical Weight Loss in Grand Blanc, 810-866-4567, or visit waytobe.com.
Consumer debt is at an all-time high.
Okay, let's take a quick check and see what's going on here around the area for traffic, because we got a couple things going on. Fortunately, no bridge collapses to have to deal with, but we have our own issues from time to time. Occasionally, we'll have things in the road that people have to duck, like ladders that fall off of trucks. These contractors that are heading to jobs, and they've either got vans or pickup trucks where they have these ladders fastened, maybe not so securely, and then the ladder falls down. That's become a major problem over the last several years. Who would be responsible for the cost, the ship company or the state? The cost, the ship company or the state? That's an interesting liability question, which is still going to have to be answered. As far as I know, this particular cargo ship was from Singapore. That is at least the information I have now, and that is tentatively true. The cargo ship that hit this bridge is from Singapore, so we may have an international issue to deal with legally as well. This nice man is like Dad, said Serendipity. Serendipity, let me ask you something. How old do you feel? Because when you come to our live stream, that's the only thing we care about. We have birthdays, we have several big anniversary celebrations, but primarily birthdays, and we focus on those. If you are celebrating a birthday, we never ask how old you are. We ask how old do you feel, because that's the important thing. And I feel like 33. Have ever since I was 33. It just kind of locked on there. There you go. Did anyone die? Well, fortunately, we have no word of any fatalities so far. At least 7 vehicles plunged into the water. A couple of them were semis. 2 people have so far been rescued. The fire crews are on the scene. Lots of other rescuers are there trying to get that together. And so far, I've heard no more updates regarding anything having been recovered in the way of people or vehicles, anything of that sort. 38 is exactly what serendipity is. Feeling like or are. I don't care how old you are. How old do you feel? How old do you feel, serendipity?
Save $5 when you spend $30 on toys with Target Circle, so you can fill their baskets with fun, like cuddly stuffed
Okay,
animals.
Dale's going to be turning 20 on April 6th. Looking forward to that one. You going to have a big party? It is sad. It is sad. Terrible situation. Morning, Kevro. Look at this. Wisconsin has joined us. 38. You feel 38? You feel 38. That's the way we do it. Tina's still locked on to 36. See? And that's truly how old you are. I believe that's how truly old you are. Is how old are you here? Hellraiser. Hellraiser. You're welcome to the Hellraisers, because that's what we're called over here. And you're 32. You got a new home and your interest rate is only 13.6%. Good for you. 13.6% X system. By the way, we're going to have a real estate agent on with the show in about 20 minutes. So you want to talk about home sales, listen in. We've got a guy who comes in every couple of weeks, and he's going to be there about 20 minutes from now in the studio with him. Let's see if that's a good rate, 13.6. Hellraiser stuck in 32. Good to see you. Jackie, good morning. Thank you for sharing us out.
And please give us a like on Facebook. Let Fake Landscape Supplies help you with your next landscape project.
Somebody thinks you're joking.
Traffic. 103.9 The Fox.
Vehicle City traffic.
Looking at several types of issues at the moment, we're still working a serious crash in Grand Blanc Township involving injury at Saginaw Road at Edwards Street. We're also in Genesee Township. We're going to give you a caution about a downed wire that's going to force you to have to veer around Coldwater Road at Horton Avenue, Coldwater at Horton, a wire down. And also in Grand Blanc Township, Cook Road at Holly Road, a disabled, no, it's actually not a disabled vehicle, it's a disabled traffic light. It's red light all four ways that's not cycling through. So for now, treat that as a four-way stop, the intersection of Cook and Holly Roads in Grand Blanc Township, till crews fix that traffic signal. If you spot traffic trouble, give us a call. Let us know. 810-230-WRSR, the number. That is 810-230-9777. You get your Vehicle City traffic information 24/7 from ClassicFox.com/traffic. Be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox.
Traffic, a service of Fick Landscape Supplies. As we spring into the new season, it's time to get that driveway in shape with tons of driveway material, plus the finest topsoil, compost, and humus. Fick Landscape Supplies has 2 locations to serve you. Find out more at FickLandscapeSupplies.com. Like them on Facebook, and now let's get Fick and busy.
The Foxhole Morning Show on 103.9 The Fox. Steph's Fox Flashback.
Like the Doors, they got a regular gig at the Los Angeles club Whiskey A Go-Go, where in 1968 they played on Sunday and Monday nights, which is where Jimi Hendrix found them. He brought them on tour as his opening act for some of his shows in 1969. Let's get into it from 1970 and Chicago's second album. It's 25 or 6 to 4 on the Fox.
Love to be able to hear this because this is one of my favorite songs ever. 25 or 6 to 4 by Chicago. That's exactly what it was referring to, the time on the clock. 25 or 6 to 4. When are we writing this song? Where are we located, Hellraiser? We're in Flint, Michigan, USA. My highly priced weather map, we're going to be right around in here. Okay? Home of the formerly crappy water. Classic rock music, 103.9 The Fox. We're actually going to be celebrating, Johnny and I, our 7th anniversary of being at this station tomorrow. 7 years, formerly crappy water. It's not anymore. We had this Flint water crisis. We had a situation, and I don't want to go into the whole detail, but you can Google it. Flint water crisis. 9 years ago it happened. It took until about 7 years ago to finally get everything straightened away. Once everybody figured out what the problems were, we've still never been able to pin down exactly who was responsible because there were so many people involved at several levels of government that were involved in it that nobody is paying an ultimate price for it. Nobody is being held legally culpable for what happened to this thing. But the bottom line was, for about 2 years, people were consuming lead in their water. And particularly for the kids, that was just an absolute devastation. But now we've gotten back on. The EPA has been testing the water because the pipes that were the offenders, the old ones, have been replaced. New pipes are in. We've gone back to the old system of feeding the water into the area. The whole point was to try to feed. Thank you very much for the happy anniversary wish. Yep. That was 7 years ago tomorrow. We're going to be on tomorrow on Twitter and X and talk about that because that was somewhat chaotic when we first started doing that here, coming from another station up north of us here in Saginaw, Michigan, which is the next big town to the north of us. And Johnny and I worked together up there for almost 18 years before coming down here. But the pipes that were the offenders bringing the water in from the Flint River, because they were old, they hadn't been properly treated, and so the lead was leaching into the water. That has all been cleared up. The EPA has been conducting tests for 7 years. All the time that they do it, the water comes back in within allowable limits, so we're good there. Lesson is don't drink tap water, says Tina. Well, I've always hated the taste of tap water, so once bottled water came into being, I was a happy guy, because now I love to drink water. The tap stuff that I was growing up with was awful. Didn't an authority make a decision to change your water source also? That was, yes, it was actually, it came from the governor's office. They were trying to save money, and they figured that bringing the water from the Flint River rather than the same system that was feeding Detroit would be a money saver. Just pipe it from the Flint River through the pipes that they had set up. The problem was the pipes that were being used were old. They had not been properly treated. And so had they been, we wouldn't have had this lead problem. The lead was leaching into the water. Once it was discovered, and it took a long time for it to be discovered, despite the protesting of a whole lot of residents who were coming up with smelly water and gallon jugs of water that looked yellow and everything like that. Finally, people figured it out that, yeah, we do have a problem. And so they ended up switching back to the original source of water, which is from the Detroit area. It cost more, but it was way safer, way safer. So now we're getting back to somewhat normal again. Didn't we have we not only did have, still do have, we do have a large demographic of minorities. And that, in many people's minds, might have had something to do with why it took so long to figure out the problem. I'm not going to get into that right now, but yes, that was a factor. And it seemed a little too intentional. I don't know about intentional. That was about trying to save money. The city was broke. The state was in lots of problems. So the governor said, let's see what we can do. They put a city manager in charge over the mayor. And so they actually added a different level of government. It was that city manager whose entire thing was trying to look after the bottom line in the city that made that decision to do that. And so it just snowballed from there and it got ugly. But what we're talking about this morning is this horrible bridge collapse that happened overnight in Baltimore, Maryland, the Francis Scott Key Bridge. We've been talking about how is it that all of these bridges that you might even have in your area can see bridges have ships, boats of all sizes pass underneath without problem. How could this have happened this morning with this cargo bridge, this cargo ship knocking this bridge down, a 1,200-foot span? Knocked it down. I'm going to show you the video of it in a couple of minutes. But right now, let's go to the air with Johnny and Steph.
You do have a chance to see Chicago with Earth, Wind, and Fire later on July 17th at Pine Knob.
Okay.
That will be a good show as well. So with the trivia question, you are playing for some great food from Jesters. The phone number you need is 810-230-9777. We'll take the first correct caller that can answer this. Chicago had 3 very talented lead singers for most of their run: Robert Lamb, Peter Cetera, and Terry Kath. Which one of those 3 provided the vocals on 25 or 6 to 4?
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to ask.
No, okay.
Which one's dead?
Yeah, well, yeah, that question.
I thought that's what you were going to ask.
No,
That's funny, Johnny. Yeah, which one's dead?
On the lighter side, Johnny, thank you.
Yeah, same.
It's,
No, the ship wasn't too tall, Serendipity. Get ready. I'm going to show you the video, and this is going to tell the story of how this ship
Unfortunate, for sure.
had the problem.
Yes.
all right, here we go.
Good morning, the Fox. Do you have an answer?
Peter Cetera.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Kind of a cool story. So Peter Cetera actually recorded those vocals with his jaw wired shut.
Did he really?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Jaw broken at a LA Dodger game.
Yeah. A Dodger.
How do you sing with your jaw wired
I don't know,
shut?
but he did really well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Crazy.
beaten up after a baseball game.
Wow.
He was supporting the Cubs. The guy that tackled him was a Dodgers fan. Plus, Peter Cetera had longer hair. So I don't know. But yeah, he landed in ICU after that event.
Wow, did not know that.
Yeah, kind of a thing. Who are we talking to this morning?
This is Paul Hyde.
Paul, where are you calling from?
Regional Medical Imaging.
All right.
Hey, one of our partners in Change
Nice.
Oil, Change of Life. Thank you.
So are you here on Miller Road?
Yes, I am.
All right, well, I'm glad you could play this morning. Thank you very much. You're going to hold on for some great food from Jesters. We'll get some info off the air, so you hang tight. But who just took you up with Steph's Fox Flashback this morning?
103.9 The Fox.
Beautiful. Hey, experience the fun of the casino.
Okay, let me show you now the video and how a big cargo ship can crash into a 1,200-foot span. What would have caused that to happen? This is what happened. I'm going to show you now. The first thing that happens, whoops, hold on. How did that happen? I don't want that. Here we go. Now, I'm going to rack this up here, and we're going to show you. Watch this bridge. Watch this ship. It suffers 2 power losses just before it gets to the bridge, and the power losses stop the steering from functioning. Power loss number 1, right there. You see the lights go out on the bridge. They're scrambling to get the power back on the ship. They're scrambling to get the power back on, It comes back on right there, okay? Now, they're heading toward this bridge support, but again, they're trying to recapture the steering that went out when that power went out. Here comes a second power loss while there's smoke billowing from the top. Now the steering is really out of control by the time they get the power back again, and they're too close to that bridge abutment, that bridge support, and they crash into that bridge support, and down it comes.
When it comes to an emergency, time matters. At Memorial Healthcare in Owasso, our emergency
There you go.
is fast.
One more time. 2 rapid-fire power losses appear to be what caused this thing. It's heading okay toward the bridge. The first power loss happens right there. All the lights go out, the steering goes out. Their propulsion is completely lost. They are going to recapture the power briefly. But again, they've started to drift toward that bridge support. Lo and behold, the power is going to go out again, and we do have smoke coming from the top of the ship. The power goes out again. Again, they recapture it, but not quickly enough to save the ship because it has drifted too close to that bridge support, and it hits the bridge support, and down comes the entire span. Is everyone okay? As far as we don't know that. Right now, the last report out of Baltimore from the fire chief was that 2 people have been rescued so far. They're looking for more because there were several vehicles, maybe 7 vehicles that were on the bridge at the time, including a couple of semis that went in. You heard 20 cars. Don't know. That's still to be determined because, of course, the chaos of this thing happening, there's going to be all kinds of flux in the information that comes through. What type of damage it did to the other pillars, he says. Yeah. Questions that are going to have to be answered in the coming days. They can't be certainly answered in the next 10 minutes. We're going to be seeing a lot happen, but it's going to be a ripple effect that, from what I understand, is going to last probably a couple of years because that was such a key route to Baltimore area travel. When did this happen? It was 1:30 this morning, about 1:30 this morning Eastern time. Got another song before we get to the news here in a second. Thank you for tuning us in, Air X Tony. Good to see you. 895 Baltimore. Jaron is a nerd with this type of stuff. Yeah, fortunately, this type of stuff doesn't happen often, which is what makes it so newsworthy, because this is such a crazy developing situation. It could have been. Now, here's the thing. If we can look at any kind of a positive, and I'm always trying to find a little tiny sliver of positive in this, in anything, when you have a disaster of this type, is the fact that it did happen overnight when there was so little traffic on that bridge. If this had happened at, say, 1:30 in the afternoon instead of 1:30 in the morning, there could have been even way more problem than there was. There's going to be enough as it is. But at least possibly this helps save at least some lives because of the time that this happened. Maybe, we're going to keep fingers crossed, they're able to save all the lives of the people who fell in. We'll find out in the coming hours. Imagine being a car that just got out before that happened or just about to get out. Yes. Anytime I go over a bridge, I don't care how short that bridge is, and we have a lot of people that are really skittish about going across the Mackinac Bridge, which is the big 4-mile span that connects the lower peninsula of Michigan to the upper peninsula of Michigan. It takes a while to get across that thing, and you just kind of wonder, boy, there's all kinds of time that things can happen. Fortunately, in the history of that bridge, there's only been one disaster where a car was a small car, an old Yugo, that a huge gust of wind came up and blew that thing over the side of the bridge. That happened many, many, many years ago. It's the only time we've had that kind of a thing. Usually when the winds kick up real heavy, they'll shut the bridge down just because of that possibility until the winds calm down. Do you think it was a terror? No, I don't believe so. Nothing would suggest that initially. Everybody kind of, this day and age, everybody kind of has to think about that as being a possibility. But so far, it doesn't look like anything would indicate that that was the case. You use the Cape Cod Bridge all the time, Mel Anna says, in Beantown. How long is the Cape Cod Bridge, if I might ask? Do you know? This was a 1,200-foot span here, this bridge, this key bridge. The ship that pulled the bridge down was able to help people. That's an interesting question. Don't know, because the bridge was the bridge fell on top of that cargo ship, which hit it. Whether or not that's going to create a problem, whether or not there were many people on that cargo ship, all of that, those are questions yet to be answered. There are a lot of rescuers on the scene, and right now the primary focus is trying to find as many people that are still in the water as possible, get them out. That was Singapore was where I'd heard it was. Now I don't know, I haven't confirmed that yet, Serendipity, but that was the initial information, is that this cargo ship did originate in Singapore. What happened? Asked Mary. We had a bridge collapse in Baltimore, Maryland, the Francis Scott Key Bridge at about 1:30 this morning because a cargo ship hit a support. Cargo ship apparently had lost power a couple of times, therefore lost its steering and drifted into this bridge support, and it knocked the whole bridge down. And it's a major bridge in the Baltimore area. Lots and lots of people that are going to start thinking, okay, what goes from the lawsuits and this and that, what it might have been. It's way too early to figure out any of that stuff. Right now, the number one priority is get as many people out of that water as quickly as possible to save as many lives as you can. Fortunately, there aren't as many as would have been had this been the middle of the day. That's the only positive you can draw from this. Well, we'll see. Here now, Johnny and Steph once again. We're Flint, Michigan, Robert.
Flint's Classic Ride, 103.9 The Fox. It's Genesis. That's all 756. Andrew Keller is going to be joining us here in the next 20 minutes or so, next 10 minutes or so, or maybe 5.
20 minutes.
We'll see. We'll
Should
see.
have packed a lunch.
Depends on how funny you are. We'll see. We've got some Michigan stories to talk with Andrew about our population growth and where it's headed, and a great story about an agent who really messed up their listing.
Oh, boy.
We'll explain coming up in a couple of minutes here when we talk to Andrew Keller, home seller. It's 7:50.
Morning, South Carolina.
Foxhole Morning Show. You're listening for Hollywood Nights by Bob Seger today.
Robert's in Mount Pleasant. Good to see you. Go Chips. Fire up Chips.
10 and 3 on Steve Driver's Fox Workforce, and he always tells you in advance what it is. So here I am doing that. Hollywood Nights by Bob Seger is what it is. When you hear it, just be the first caller.
That's right. Ship lost power twice.
Some King Arthur's pasties for free, and they'll sign you up to win a pass for up to 4 people at Extreme Indoor Kart Racing. You ever been there, Andrew?
I have.
Sounds like something that you would do.
Oh, yeah.
Super fun, isn't it?
That's the one in Clio.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Good times.
Fox half-off deals.
Wow, Fox half-off deals might have me crashing.
Aiken is where you're from, South Carolina.
You are one of those competitive guys.
Northwest Minnesota. Good morning, Jen Miller.
Heads are out.
Yeah, we'll pit her. Pit her.
Morning from Carroll, Carroll, Michigan.
Past weekend.
There you go.
They love to put
Heather, you
Mark
still with
in
us?
cars and just abuse the crap out of her.
Bumper cars?
Oh yeah.
I have-
Go-karts, all of
I
it.
have a lot of mass compared to Meg, so when I hit Meg with a bumper car, she goes flying.
She's tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're like almost concussion protocol.
And knowing that you do it anyways.
Wow.
Well, what?
What can I legally bumper car my wife?
One of these
Hey,
days,
St. Charles. Welcome. Winter Zoo.
Let's head over to that.
Time for news. 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox, brought to you by Shea Automotive. Keep your vehicle ready for all kinds of weather conditions that can change in a heartbeat with a Shea Automotive service special. 10% off major auto repairs, free battery check, and $10 off recommended maintenance. Shea Automotive, Corona Road, Flint. Tragedy and a travel nightmare in Baltimore this morning after a major bridge collapse. Rescue crews have reportedly pulled at least 2 people from the water and are continuing to search for several more after multiple vehicles fell into the water following the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge this morning when it was struck by a large cargo ship. That bridge services as the outermost crossing of the Baltimore Harbor and is an essential link of I-695. Flint's First Ward has representation again. Flint City Council last night appointing Leon L. Alleman to fill the seat left vacant by last month's death of Eric Mays. L. Alleman to serve on council on an interim basis until a special election can be held, and the date for that is still to be determined. The L.A. and Miami home homes of Sean Diddy Combs raided by law enforcement yesterday. The rapper and producer facing a federal investigation into sex trafficking allegations, which he denies. The judge overseeing former President Trump's New York hush money case setting jury selection for April 15th. Meanwhile, Trump faces a deadline yesterday to post a $464 million bond in his New York civil fraud case, but an appeals court agreed to slash that to $175 million and extend by 10 days Trump's deadline to post it. Pistons lost to the Knicks last night, 124-99. That's 7 straight losses for the Pistons. Wings are in Washington tonight, and the Tigers take on Tampa Bay as we're getting down to the home stretch of the Grapefruit League schedule. And to cap this one off, nobody won the Powerball jackpot last night, so it's going up to $865 million for tomorrow. And the anticipation is growing for tonight's Mega Millions jackpot that sits at $1.1 billion with a $525 million cash option. That drawing happening just before 11 tonight. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox.
So I'm not going to bother with the 800 million, for gosh sakes. There's 1.1 billion out there. Why would you bother with the 800 million?
Both are taxable.
Yeah, I'm not giving a bother. No. Just go for broke, man.
103.9 The Fox.
Workforce weather.
Well, let's see. Showers, significant winds today. We're expecting the showers that are likely to return tonight. Those winds to kick up to the south-southeast at 20 to 22. They'll gust up to about 37 miles per hour today, and our temps are expected to top out around 58. Cloudy overnight with some overnight showers at times, 34 for the low, and then it looks like skies remain generally overcast through tomorrow. Cooler temperatures to prevail, only around 44. Sunshine comes back for this Thursday, 46. Right now it's 51 in Flint, and in Saginaw, 53.
From the Hurley Medical Center studio, this is the Fox Home Morning Show. Tony Morris Owasso.
Flint's Classic Rock Authority.
103.9 The Fox. It's the Fox Big Backyard Bundle. Be caller 9 now. 810-230-WR.
Welcome, Boyne City. Big Bopper 47 there.
777. You'll instantly qualify for the Big Backyard Bundle from Timothy's Tractors and Flint's 103.9 The Fox.
How do we pick the 5 things? Good question, since I'm the news editor here. Actually, the entire news department. But typically, the bottom line is the stories that have the greatest effect on the most people. And they only give me a short amount of time to get the whole thing in, so we have to kind of make sure that we kind of collapse it down. I hate to use it, we probably shouldn't use the word collapse on a day like this, but we do kind of boil it down to the most important stuff for the most amount of people who are listening. And we do have a sizable audience. We are the number one, particularly among men in this area. We're the number one listened to station. Morning, Paparazzi Patsy. One of our newest Hellraiser friends is with us. Good morning to you. Good to see you. And Jeremy, thank you very much for following us today. We picked up some new followers, and we're just super glad about that. And for those of you who are here, let's give you a smile source, my 365 Dogs calendar, which usually feeds me a picture. Every dog has his day, and we usually get a picture of a dog who's identified by name. We find out where that dog is located and what kind of breed that dog is. But today, the only thing I know is the breed. For whatever stupid reason, they didn't put the dog's name or his home or even her. We don't even know what the gender of this particular dog is, but it is a Havanese. So that's what we're going to show you today. That's your smile source today. Smile at a Havanese. Okay? I could normally, most of these times, tell you the name of this dog and where it lives, but not now, unfortunately. So many viewers. Glad to see we're following has grown. I tell you what, Kevro, every time we come to TikTok, we get a lot of people watching us, and part of the reason for that, if you're on TikTok at all, you know this, that instead of just mindlessly scrolling through stuff that is basically, because of the algorithms, tailored to your focused interest, they now send people all over the place to these live streams arbitrarily so that you can kind of get a feel for other things that you haven't yet been exposed to, and we're one of those. A lot of people for years didn't realize we were here. We've been doing this for 9 years, and people are still locating us and discovering us every single day, particularly when we come here to TikTok, because people of all ages and all demographics are coming here and are, hold on, let's see, I got to move something over. They give me this, I don't know why they give me this timing all of a sudden where I have to verify who I am in order to be able to continue this, but they did. All right, I picked the puzzle and we figured it out, so we're good. Okay. So, anyway, thank you very much to Aiken, South Carolina, once again, for being here. Got a lot of Michiganians here also. And by the way, you're Michiganians. If you're in this state, you're not Michiganders, despite what the governor says. We also can point to where we live on a hand. That's what we're proud of here in Michigan, being Michiganians. Anyway, thank you very much for coming here. Brother Hal's traveling live streaming show is going over tomorrow to Twitter/X. We'll be there at about 7 a.m. Eastern time. So look for us there if you can. Follow us as much as you can. And then we appreciate all those who have. I've got some new ones that have just clicked in and followed us just now. Thank you very much for that. GeForce Atlas, thank you very much for that. Thursday, we're going to Instagram. Friday, it's Twitch and Facebook simultaneously in a multicast. Monday, Facebook by itself. And then Tuesday, we wend our way right back here to TikTok. It's always TikTok Tuesday around here. So thank you very much for your patience, your presence, your all of your messages who came in. Those of you who followed us or gave us the gifts that they allow you to do here on this app. Thank you very much for those. Good morning, Road Reaper. Good to see you. All right. Truth, yes. And the truth is, we'll be back here again on Twitter, X, tomorrow morning for more with the Hellraisers. Now, I will also caution you, if you're going over to Twitter, what X is now, Elon calls it, if you are coming over and using an Android, don't get real bent out of shape like our friend Tina does, because she's got an Android phone. And if you got an Android phone, they don't let you comment. I don't know why, but they don't. You can watch, but if you're on an Android phone, they won't let you comment if you're on Twitter tomorrow. So know that if you come over and watch us tomorrow, you wouldn't get a chance to throw your opinion. You wouldn't be able to register your 2 cents. So we always want you to be able to do that. Found us on Periscope in Columbus, Ohio. I remember you, Greg. Yes, Columbus, Ohio. We'll overlook the fact that you're there, but okay. And we'll catch you guys again. It is a shame, Kurt. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be showing later on. You're going to be seeing this video all day long anyway, but I showed it a couple of different times. That angle, which showed why that ship crashed into the bridge. It had a couple of power losses just before it got to the bridge, and it was not able to regain its steering, its propulsion system in time to be able to steer away from the bridge support that it ultimately crashed into. That was the bottom line to that. So we will come back again. I'm still drawing, Greg, but not as much as I was because, number one, people aren't asking for it. And two, I've been doing a lot of voiceover work and doing stuff for features that show up on YouTube and some other stuff like on Instagram and Facebook. You'll see ads sometimes that have my voice featured, and a couple of times even my face, because I'm doing some on-camera stuff as well. But we do some, and matter of fact, while we're here, before we go, let me show you some of the drawings that we do that Greg just now asked about, okay? Here they are. Let's give you a quick look at the kind of thing that I show you right now that we do as drawings for people who, well, I just do them generally, and people who actually want specific people, places, pets. We do all of those. These are basically graphite pencil drawings. This is the kind of thing we do. Just to give you an idea. All right? Before we go. You got dogs like mine, Stinky? Well, great, because mine is a total doofus. I got to deal with him again later on when we get done with this show. Those are the kind of things that we do, all right? So let's see if I can figure out how to get this camera back to. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's the other thing. When Greg asked about the drawings, that was what he meant. And by the way, thanks for bringing that up. It gives me a chance to show those. All right, so thank you very much once again, and we will see you again whenever we see you, either tomorrow on X or next Tuesday on TikTok or any of the other stops that we make in between. And again, if you want to screenshot this so that you can follow us whenever you can follow us, this is what our schedule is of where we show up. At 7 a.m.-ish Eastern Time, Monday through Fridays. There you go. Thanks once again. We'll see you all after you've had yourself a pleasant, peaceful, productive day. Okay? Okay.